Good evening. This is Akashvani. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Paris on official visit to France to be guest of honor at Bastille Day parade tomorrow. Defence Acquisition Council approves procurement of 26 Rafale marine aircraft from France to boost Indian Navy's operational capabilities. Government to provide free dish, improve Akashvani's reach in border villages on Indo-China border, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Chandrayaan Singh Thakur. Countdown begins for launch of Chandrayaan3, India's third lunar exploration mission from Sriharikota. And in Wimbledon tennis, Marketa Vondrousova enters the women's singles final. Indo-Australian duo Rohan Bopanna and Matthew Ebden defeated in men's doubles semi-final. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met President of the French Senate Gérard Larcher in Paris this evening. Mr. Modi reached Paris this afternoon on an official visit to France. He was received by French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne on arrival. Mr. Modi was given a guard of honor at the airport. He was given a warm welcome by the Indian diaspora. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that across the world the Indian diaspora has made a mark for themselves and is admired for their diligence and hard-working nature. Mr. Modi will also meet French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne this evening. He will interact with the Indian community, which will be followed by a private dinner hosted by President of France, Emmanuel Macron, at Élysée Palace in honor of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Modi will be the guest of honor at the Bastille Day parade tomorrow, where a Tri-Services Indian Armed Forces contingent would be participating. French National Day or Bastille Day occupies a special place in French consciousness. The Prime Minister will hold delegation-level talks with President Macron tomorrow. During the visit, he will also interact with CEOs of Indian and French companies and prominent French personalities. The French President will host the state banquet at the iconic Louvre Museum on Bastille Day. The Prime Minister left for a two-nation tour of France and the United Arab Emirates this morning. On the second leg of his visit, the Prime Minister will visit Abu Dhabi on Saturday. He will hold talks with the UAE President and ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Prime Minister Modi has again pushed for India to receive permanent status on the United Nations Security Council, UNSC. In an interview with a French newspaper, he described India as a bridge between the global south and the Western world. Mr. Modi said the rights of the global south have been long denied, and this has led to a feeling of anguish among these countries. He said, as the most populous country in the world, India needs to regain its rightful place. The Prime Minister said, how can the United Nations Security Council claim to speak for the world when its most populous country and its largest democracy is not a permanent member? Mr. Modi advocated for a comprehensive reshuffle of the international institutions. He said India has always stood for peaceful resolution of differences through dialogue and diplomacy and for respecting sovereignty of all nations, international law and the rules-based international order. The Defence Acquisition Council has approved proposals for the procurement of 26 Rafale marine aircraft from France to boost the Indian Navy's operational capabilities. A meeting of the Defence Acquisition Council was held today under the chairmanship of Chandrayaan3 Singh. It has granted acceptance of necessity for procurement of 26 Rafale marine aircraft along with associated ancillary equipment, weapons, spares, crew training and logistics support for the Indian Navy from the French government based on an intergovernmental agreement. The Defence Ministry said the price and other terms of purchase will be negotiated with the French government after taking into account all relevant aspects, including comparative procurement price of similar aircraft by other countries. The Defence Acquisition Council also granted approval for the procurement of 3 additional Scorpion submarines under the Buy Indian category, which will be constructed by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Russian, Singapore and Thailand counterparts at Jakarta in Indonesia today. On his meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Dr. Jaishankar in a tweet said they held discussion on bilateral economic issues and matters pertaining to the Ukraine conflict. Writing about his interaction with Singapore Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan, the External Affairs Minister said they had a good conversation on the current global situation and its challenges. With Thailand's Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai, the External Affairs Minister held a discussion on pressing regional concerns and their shared connectivity interests. The two-day G20 conference on crime and security in the age of non-fungible tokens, artificial intelligence and metaverse began at Gurugram in Haryana today. Addressing the inaugural session, Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah said transformation of security challenges from dynamite to metaverse and hawala to cryptocurrency is a matter of concern. He urged all to devise a common strategy to deal effectively with the menace.
साइबर सुरक्षा अब केवल डिजिटल दुनिया तक ही सीमित नहीं है, यह राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा और वैश्विक सुरक्षा का मामला बन गया है। G20 सम्मेलनों में साइबर सुरक्षा पर अब तक का यह पहला सम्मेलन है। G20 ने अब तक आर्थिक दृष्टिकोण से डिजिटल परिवर्तन और डेटा फ्लो पर ध्यान केंद्रित किया है, लेकिन क्राइम और सिक्योरिटी एस्पेक्ट को समझना और उसका समाधान निकलना बेहद आवश्यक है।
The third G20 Sherpas meeting under the Indian presidency was inaugurated today at Hampi in Karnataka. In his opening remarks, India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant said the shaping of the draft Delhi Declaration has gained momentum as several G20 working groups are submitting their outcome documents and shared summaries. He informed that education, tourism, agriculture and ministerial working groups have already published their outcomes. This is Akashwani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Information and Broadcasting Minister Chandrayaan3 Thakur has said the government will provide free Doordarshan DTH connections in far-flung areas to improve Akashwani's reach in border villages on the Indo-China border. The minister said this during an interaction with the villagers at Karzok village of Ladakh. The government has proposed to distribute 1,50,000 free dish connections in villages and border areas to achieve the goal of reaching out to the people living in far-flung and border areas. Mr. Thakur assured the local villagers that their demands of better digital connectivity, enhancing tourism infrastructure, sports infrastructure and improved Jal Jeevan mission will also be implemented on priority basis. More from our correspondent.
During an interaction with the local people in Karzok and Chumur villages of Ladakh near Indo-China border, the minister assured better mobile connectivity and supply of free DTH connections to the residents of these far-flung villages. The minister held close interactions with the local people to gain first-hand understanding of the challenges faced by the residents in the remote areas of Ladakh. Asserting that the government is committed to the development of border villages, the minister assured people that their demands of better digital connectivity, road connectivity, tourism infrastructure, sports infrastructure and improved Jal Jeevan mission will be implemented on a priority basis. The minister unveiled plans for future initiatives that would further enhance the development of border villages. These initiatives include upgrading infrastructure for better connectivity and promoting ecotourism to leverage the region's natural beauty. Muzaffar Wani reporting for Akashwani, Leh, Ladakh.
The countdown for the launch of Chandrayaan3, India's third lunar exploration mission, is progressing smoothly at Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota. The over 25-hour countdown began at 1:05 p.m. today. Indian Space Research Organisation will launch Chandrayaan3 by LVM-3 rocket at 2:35 p.m. tomorrow from Sriharikota. Last-minute checks are being carried out, even as liquid and cryogenic stages are being filled. India's heavy lift rocket LVM-3 weighing 652 tons will carry Chandrayaan-3 and inject it into space at around 16 minutes after takeoff. The satellite will travel in an elliptical path, ensuring its correct path to reach the moon in a month's time, traveling a 384,000 kilometer distance. The lander carried by the spacecraft is expected to make a soft landing after 30 days. President Draupadi Murmu has appealed to the students that while thinking about their higher education, also think about those people in society who have been left behind in the journey of development. The President was addressing the convocation ceremony organized to commemorate the Silver Jubilee year of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, IITM, at Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh today. Schools, colleges and universities in the national capital have been closed till this Sunday in view of waterlogging in several parts of the city. A decision in this regard was taken during the meeting of the Delhi Disaster Management Authority today. The water level of the Yamuna River rose unexpectedly, reaching a record height of 208.66 meters this evening. Our correspondent reports that more than 20,000 people have been shifted to relief camps.
For the first time since 1978, Yamuna's water level has crossed the danger mark of 205.33 meters. Delhi government is monitoring the situation round the clock, and NDRF teams with boats have been stationed in the flood-affected areas. All the employees of the government offices will work from home except those who cater to essential services. Private offices have also been advised to work from home as much as possible. The entry of heavy vehicles has been temporarily barred from all borders of the state. Only those heavy vehicles carrying essential supplies have been allowed. Wazirabad, Chandrayaan and Okhla water treatment plants were shut down due to the entry of floodwaters into the machines, and 25% water supply in the city will be affected due to this. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikia, Akashvani News, Delhi.
The NDRF today said the situation in Delhi is likely to improve tomorrow as rain has stopped in Delhi. Briefing media in Delhi, NDRF DIG Mohsen Shahidi said low-lying areas of Delhi are inundated due to the rise in the water level of Yamuna, and 16 teams of NDRF have been deployed for relief work. He said the state administration, Delhi police and citizen volunteers are all working together to mitigate the situation.
दिल्ली में काफी जगहों पर पानी आ गया है। जो लो लाइंग एरियाज हैं, एम्बैंकमेंट के क्लोज हैं एरियाज, रहायशी इलाके हैं, वहां से इवैक्यूएशन करने के लिए एनडीआरएफ की कल 12 टीमें तैनात की गई थी और आज 4 एडिशनल टीम्स लगाई गई हैं दोपहर बाद, ताकि कहीं भी अगर कोई हताहत है तो जल्द से जल्द कार्रवाई की जा सके। इसमें जो स्टेट की एजेंसीज हैं, स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, दिल्ली पुलिस, वॉलंटियर्स हैं, बहुत सारे मात्रा में, इन सब की मदद से हम कार्रवाई कर पा रहे हैं।
The India Meteorological Department IMD has forecast heavy to extremely heavy rainfall over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim and Meghalaya till tomorrow. It also forecasts very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall over Uttarakhand during the next 5 days. Heavy rainfall is also likely over Himachal Pradesh during the next 5 days. Key domestic indices touched new all-time highs today but pared most of the gains later to end marginally higher. The BSE Sensex closed 165 points up or 0.25% to finish at 65,559 in intraday trade. The index crossed the 66,000 mark for the first time. Nifty 50 at the National Stock Exchange ended 29 points up or 0.15% to settle at 19,414. Sports news in Wimbledon tennis, Marketa Vondrousova from Czech Republic has defeated Ukraine's Elena Svitolina to reach the women's singles final. Vondrousova beat Svitolina 6-3, 6-3 in the semi-final this evening. The other semi-final is underway between Tunisian 6th-seeded Ange Jabeur and Belarusian 2nd seed Arina Sabalenka. India's Rohan Bopanna and his Australian partner Matthew Ebden lost to top seed Dutch-British combination of Wesley Koolhof and Niels Kupski 5-7, 4-6 in the men's doubles semi-final. In women's cricket, Bangladesh defeated India by 4 wickets in the third and final T20 international in Dhaka today. Bangladesh achieved the target of 103 runs in 18.2 overs, losing 6 wickets. The Indian team scored 102 runs for 9 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Having already won the first 2 matches, India has claimed the series 2-1. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Paris on official visit to France to be guest of honour at Bastille Day parade tomorrow. Defence Acquisition Council approves procurement of 26 Rafale marine aircraft from France to boost Indian Navy's operational capabilities. Government to provide free dish, improve Akashvani's reach in border villages on Indo-China border, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur. Countdown begins for launch of Chandrayaan3, India's third lunar exploration mission from Sriharikota. And in Wimbledon tennis, Marketa Vondrousova enters the women's singles final. Indo-Australian duo Rohan Bopanna and Matthew Ebden defeated in men's doubles semi-final. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.